Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and it's time for our patch review for the very super impactful, insanely large, huge, gymongous, meta-altering, game-altering balance patch that saw this change over here. Morchie, finally! Been waiting for that Morchie buff, just what was needed, going to a 3-6. But there was actually a lot of news that kind of came out yesterday. Not only did this insane, crazy buff happen, we also saw possibilities of a new Balatro style mode maybe coming to Hearthstone, or probably just some like Chinese event thing, most likely through NetEase. We'll take a look at that. But also just, yeah, the community sentiment towards the news of this patch, where there's a lot of people not happy, but some people kind of like, all right, let's wait and see for that next patch and all that, as well as a new gamba in Hearthstone, and the advertising for it in-game has seen levels we've never seen before. It's pretty funny. I'm pretty sure it's a bug, but still, we'll go over all this stuff. And of course, if you enjoy the content on the channel, feel like I've earned your subscription, please hit that sub button down below. Give the video a like, as it helps the channel out a lot. So yeah, a lot of Reddit threads like this, where they've been waiting for the Morchie buff, being sarcastic and finally eclipsing Elise as the best 4-drop. A lot of sarcasm, and as somebody who is very sarcastic all the time, I kind of appreciate it. If it's the 4 mana up front for the double rewind effect that is the problem, though you may be able to tempo it out, and lives now with 6 health, the 3 attack is largely irrelevant. Basically, this card is only going to be as strong as cheap as it's going to be, unless you make it like a 4 mana 10-8 or something, or a 4 mana 6-7. Sorry, I did it, even though we had the ogre meme first. The children have taken over the 6-7. Somebody, though, they got people in here like I am actually excited. Morchie is a cool design, and I want to play around with her. And +1/+1 is not going to change anything. Lamau, a buff is a buff, and playing cards is fun. So you can see there's people that are not so much grumpy old men like me and just enjoy, you know, getting the 1 buff for a card they are looking forward to playing. So yeah, a lot of sentiment like that. That was your big plan, Murzon. A +1/+1 buff is nowhere near powerful enough to rewrite the timeline. So yeah, obviously super mid whatever patch, and I even looked on HS Guru. You can actually look at decks and include cards. I'm like, you know what? Let's look up decks with Morchie since the patch went live, and yeah, I got this result, no deck. So let's go to minimum 800, and we have something. It's this weird Quasar Rogue that's not good, that has a sub 50% win rate. We go to the past, let's go day, right? 24 hours since this patch went live. We have, again, how does it go to nothing? Okay, minimum 200, let's go with that. Yes, this Quasar Rogue with a 50.2%. So early stats indicating this buff has not really done much. And if they did make it 3 mana, maybe this deck would be better. And do you want this deck to be better? So that's probably why it's not 3 mana, because this is a pretty toxic play pattern with Quasar. And yeah, you combo it with the Chrono Dagger. So the patch itself, not super meaningful. It's got people wondering, like, did they just buff it because of, well, this signature, right? This signature card, which is in the new Darkmoon Faire Gamba, which we'll talk about in a second. Amazing artwork, I have to say. Incredible artwork on the card. It's in the thumbnail for a reason. And somebody did point out that Opu, Questing Assistant, Mirix, Highborn Mentor, Solitude, Divine Augur, Rafam, and now Morchie were all buffed when they appeared in the Darkmoon Treasures. I don't think it's a coincidence. Interesting. I wonder if Blizzard execs are pushing the dev teams to buff the cards, and that's why the nerf was largely irrelevant. The card sucked. The card's bad. All of these cards were not seeing like relatively any competitive play, and almost every card has a signature and a diamond or whatever lately, and a good chunk of them will be in the Gambas. Do I think there's an ulterior motive? No, but I can understand why people might think that, right? But at the end of the day, they buffed Rafam, which is in a Darkmoon Faire treasure. He's still not very good. They buffed Morchie. It's still not going to be that great. Opu only really sees play because of Elise, right? It's a 6 mana card. Mirix, I think, would still see play as a 3/3. The meta has just gone to super Elise, so Mirix is super good in there, and most of these cards still suck. So you know, they're rightfully buffed, right? If you look at it that way. But yeah, the patch is that jarring that people are going all conspiracy theory, but there really isn't much else to talk about from a balanced perspective. It is what it is, right? We had that dev comment of, you know, we're gonna have a major patch coming up soon where they'll change a lease. It just sucks that, you know, maybe it's not now, but as they said, the meta is relatively stable. There is a lot of options. It's boring. A lot of us are feeling like it's boring. It's been this way for a long time, but let's be real. They have been setting up this standard rotation, you know, to make this huge impact for so long. It'd be pretty silly to just throw that away now, right? Just almost like less than 2 months out. I kind of get it. It's just unfortunate. And I feel like I've seen the sentiment out there too. You know, like sounds like a pretty big one. I'd rather them take the time and get it right rather than mess things up. Again, another comment of not nerfing Elise right now is the right change. The metagame is interesting. I don't know about that, but whatever. But yeah, fairly stable right now. Next rotation is going to be extremely impactful. So saving sweeping changes until then makes sense. I'm more curious what else from the current year they will hit come rotation. Definitely Dragon Warrior, since it's the only deck that'll come out relatively unscathed. Maybe it's a Control Warrior and DK tools. Very curious. So again, I think some people can see it. It really sucks in the meantime, especially as a content creator. I gotta fill in, what, 2-3 weeks until, you know, we actually have some new stuff for a new patch, right? We'll try to make do around here. But yes, it's going to be a bit of a challenge to say the least. But maybe there'll be something to help us along, because Guion, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I'm going with that. A great source on Twitter. If you don't follow them, I'll link their Twitter account down below. Absolutely great. Follow the link like Chinese wild decks, standard decks. Great resource. Anyways, they tweeted this out. The Chinese server will launch a new in-game mode, Balatro mode, which will be available online tomorrow. So I'm guessing today as I'm recording this. It seems to be content that can be played in the game. There are no more details yet. If you're interested, I will post more pictures tomorrow. So maybe we'll have more of an update on this in a future video, because a lot of people were talking about this, right? And you can see like the new game tab was thrown in the daily quests tab there, which is pretty weird. And we have different looking cards and heroes, and you can see like things on the side. It's pretty hard to know, but if it's like Balatro, if you're not aware, go follow Raffle on it. Former Wild Hearthstone player, blew up with that, but really good game based around like poker, which I love. Texas Hold'em, played that for like, I don't know, since like Chris Moneymaker won the World Series of Poker, let's put it that way. I got caught up in the boom with like rounders and all of that. I like Texas Hold'em. Daniel Negreanu is my goat. And yeah, there's just all these pictures of, it looks like they're using a lot of existing assets in the game, like solo adventure stuff, and it kind of reminds me of like the Celestalon puzzles, where they just kind of, it's like a Frankenstein using in-game assets just to put whatever this is together. We don't have much details on it, but if it's coming to China, maybe it's like really popular there and it's actually a fun mode. Maybe it can come over here, and likely, I think it's just an event thing, like it's a temporary thing even there for some like promotion, because if you're not aware, like Hearthstone and Blizzard and all that stuff is run through NetEase. They have their own client, they do their own things, like they have like their own in-game tournaments, they have their own in-game deck tracker. Like it's quite independent in a lot of ways from what we have, and seems like a lot ways better. But yeah, this mode is coming. So again, we have like no details on it, but I just wanted to share that. And if we get more stuff, like maybe there's some like gameplay out there that some Chinese players like share or whatever, we can get more detail on it, especially we don't have a lot going on. It could be really something interesting to take a look at, but yeah, we literally don't know details. So I just thought I'd throw that out there rather than making one long video about it. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is, yeah, the usual, we actually did have a bit of a shop update with the patch today with, yeah, another gamba, the Darkmoon Faire treasure thing, where you can go in the shop, you can check it out. I will always say, unless you're willing to spend $158 to get this pet, don't engage with this unless you think all this stuff is worth that type of money, because your chances of rolling this are almost zero until the 10th roll. So I just do my free roll. Unless there's something really cool I want, I don't spend on this thing. I haven't bought a full gamble once. I've only spent money on the one with the leeches, because I love Deathlight. I wanted the leech cards. I think it took 4 rolls. I just want to be transparent. I have spent a little bit of money on it, but only on like, yeah, the first few rolls. And I've never gotten any of the mythic portraits or pets other than the one Blizzard basically gifted to all creators. And I will say I pulled a pretty nice card here. The Precise Shot, the artwork, I'm looking respectfully, but again, it's super predatory. It's just not super transparent. People fall for it all the time, thinking that they have a chance to get the thing that's the biggest in the picture, despite the odds are the worst. And yes, it leads to that conspiracy theory of the Morchie signature in there. But just be aware it's in there. But if you're going to spend money on it, it's going to be $158 almost. I think it's like over 95% of the time to get this pet. You do get all the other things. So if it's worth it to you, it's worth it to you. And oh yeah, I also wanted to mention Baby Bear tweeted this out, and it's just silly. Like, just to show how stupid this thing is. Baby Bear, who is a Hearthstone content creator, said, "I really wish I had a pet. They all look adorable. The feature is not available in Belgium, so it never shows up for me in the game." It's literally illegal there, the way it's set up. It is illegal in Belgium. That's how kind of gross it is. If Blizzard would just remove the gacha system and add them to the shop, I would be able to enjoy them too. And Clark even noted he was spectating someone while taking a break on stream, and this pop-up window appeared. How is anything like this allowed to appear while actual gameplay is happening? He got an ad in the game. I mean, technically he wasn't playing. It's probably like a bug with the spectator thing, but it's just so funny to see an image of the freaking gamba in game while he's watching the game. That's where the priorities are at, right? Absolutely silly. So yeah, that is going on in the game. Again, I don't recommend, and I don't say to enter it at all unless you just, it's your money, right? It's your money. You think that's worth it to you, go for it. Just be aware you're going to be spending a lot of money to get that pet. And I believe the only thing that was really added, you have like cards available for purchase. They added one new hero skin, which has a pretty funny bug right now in Beast Test. This is a rogue portrait. Actually, you can get it for 1,000 gold, 875 Canadian, 750 USD. I'm gonna buy it right now with gold, and then I want to show you what apparently I'm gonna test it on this video to see. I'll skip ahead, but apparently if you play this portrait and get your opponent down to 15 HP, something pretty crazy happens. So apparently if I get them down to like 15 HP here, yeah, this is pretty funny.
Tough luck.
Apparently. All of a sudden, your hero, you get the diamond test. Like, what a weird bug. You become the diamond test, and
that's amazing.
That is pretty amazing. So I doubt this will last for long, but if you don't have the ability to get this diamond test, you can kind of get it probably for a little bit while it's bugged out in the game. So that's basically the patch review for now. I will do updated decks tomorrow, although, yeah, I don't think Morchie will factor in much. You'll be, you know, decks to climb with in February. There have been refinements over the past, you know, couple of weeks since we last did that. And then, yeah, we'll be off kind of waiting till we find out the new core set, you know, the next expansion announcement, the next balance patch, all that stuff should be coming in the next couple of weeks, right? So there is news coming. It's just going to take a while. And of course, I'll keep you up to date with anything that comes up in the meantime and try and highlight gameplay or whatever. I'll still try and provide daily content, but yeah, maybe I'll take a day off here or there in case, you know, just not to drive everybody crazy. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.